Okay, here we go with some help for homework sheet number 10. First question, find the equation of the line passing through the point -1, 3, perpendicular to that line. So the first thing we need to do is we need to write this first equation in the form y equals mx plus c. That is going to tell us what our gradient is. Then we're going to get our perpendicular gradient using the point -1, 3 in the equation y minus b. Okay, so a nice wee gentle start for these guys. Second question, we're told that x minus 2 is a factor, so we know the remainder is going to be 0. You know what number we need to put in here based on this factor. That's then going to generate 3 numbers here, which can then be factorised, and then your final answer in fully factorised form will be 3 brackets. Do not solve it. It is not a solved question. We've got the points A, B, C, D like this. Now we're told that this distance between A and B, this distance between B and C, and this distance between C and D is all exactly the same. Okay, we know what the point A is, we know what the point B is, and we're asked for the point D. Okay, so if I look at the x numbers just, so the x number for A is -1, and the x number for B is 2. So what I'm going to ask myself is, what step did I need to make to get myself from the 1 up to the 2? So if I'm starting at 1 and going up to 2, then that's a jump of 3. Because these are all the same, to get from B to C is going to be another jump of 3. And then to get from C to D is going to be another jump of 3. So -1 to 2, another jump of 3 takes you to 5, another jump of 3 takes you to 8. So I know the x coordinate for D is 8. And then if I do the same thing, but I look at the y coordinates, so what's the jump? And then repeat it twice, get the new y number, and then do the same thing again for the z number, I'll get a new z number. Question 4, differentiate and put 4 in. In other words, find the f dash to 4. Okay, so before we do that, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find what's the differential. Can't really differentiate root x, so I need to change that into x to the power of half. Bring the power down, decrease. 2 over x squared, need to change that to x to the -2. Bring the power down, decrease. And then if you tidy all of that up and then put 4 in, you should get a nice wee simple answer. Question 5, we've got 2 vectors and you have to determine whether or not they're perpendicular. So we're going to do u dot v. So this times this, this times this, this times this, and we're going to add them all up, and we're going to check to see what the answer is. If the answer is 0, then that means that they're perpendicular. If the answer isn't 0, then it means they're not perpendicular. Question 6. We have a recurrence relation, un plus 1 equals pun add q. Because we know the first 3 terms, 12, 15 and 16, we can use these to work out p and q. So we use, which I think we call the smiley method. Somebody invented that during the lockdown. So we start at 16 and we go back to 15. So we write 16 equals p times 15 add q. And then we repeat that from the 15 to the 12. We'll get another equation And then if we do some simultaneous equations from that, we'll be able to work out what P is, we'll be able to work out what Q is. And then for the second part of the question, what's the limit? We have a little formula which we know. In this case, with P's and Q's in it, the limit formula is going to be Q over 1 minus P. Question 7. Find h of x where h of x is f of g of x. So in other words, the g formula is going to go into the f formula. So that means take the 2x add 3 and substitute it in here where the x is. So you end up with 1 over 2x add 3. That's where you've done your substitution. Take away 4. Tidy that up. And then for the second part of the question, is there any restrictions? Well, we know the restriction in mathematics is dividing by 0. Okay, so once you've tidied this part here up with the 2x add 3 minus 4, once you've tidied that up, then when is that going to equal 0? That's what we're trying to avoid for part B. Question 8. Got a little formula. It says a dot a add b is 36. So let's remove the brackets. So you've got a dot a plus a dot b is 36. A dot a is the length of a times the length of a times cos theta. A dot b, luckily for us, at this time the question tells us that a dot b, oh no, sorry, it's a different question, I'm getting mistaken. Right, sorry. A dot b is the length of a times the length of b times cos theta, and we know all of that's got to equal 36. So the length of a, the question tells us, is 5. So that's 5 times 5 times cos. Now what's the angle between them? 0. Plus the length of a times the length of b times cos theta. Now we don't know what theta is, that's what we're trying to find. Equals 36. Now if you work all this out here, you'll get a number. 5 times 4 is 20. So you'll have a number plus 20 cos theta is equal to 36. And then if you do a wee bit of rearranging, you can get 20 cos theta equals something, cos theta equals something, and therefore theta equals something. And that's how you work out the missing angle. Question 9. Now, if the negative sign is inside the brackets, then that means that your shape is being flipped around the y-axis. Okay, so anything which is on this side ends up on that side. Anything that's on this side ends up on that side. So you swap it left and right. The second part of the question is the same as the first part. There's your f of negative x, but this time I've stuck a wee 2 in the front. And that wee 2 in the front means double the y coordinates. Okay, so whatever your y coordinates in your first answer, so when you've drawn your first answer, whatever your y coordinates were, wherever they should be, you need to then double them to get your new shape. Okay, so basically you'll end up with a graph, and then the second graph will be stretched up and down the way. Okay, hopefully that helps.